Hi, my name's Matt and I'm building a Sopwith Camel. So yeah, just been slowly working on it. Currently I'm building web ribs to make up the wing ribs. A wing rib looks like one of these. There's 5 of them made up there. They're the first 5 done, just so I could walk myself through the process and get ready for making about 80 of them. Over here, not particularly interesting, but an indication of how many holes I've had to cut out using the... I'm no good with technical names, but whatever that is. Jigsaw, I think. But yeah, that's one hell of a lot of holes, and those are the ones that came out of sizable chunks. These are not particularly exciting weeks. It's just head down, arse up, do what I can, and just keep plodding through while I get the bulk of these webs done. So as you can see, I've been having to skill saw out the lightning holes for these middle webs one by one. I'm hoping not to have to do that for the routing side of it. So what I'm hoping to do is, if I zoom down here a bit. So here's an example one. I have a good one over here, which will fit over top. And I can use the top one to round out the bottom one. And ideally I want to be able to do more than one at a time. But the catch is the normal method for doing this is using double-sided tape. And what I've found double-sided tape is it leaves residue on the timber, which then has to be cleaned off, which is just another form of pain in the backside. So what I'm planning on doing, and to see if this works or not, is creating grips on both ends of the centre webs. So where you see the pin marks here, they come straight off this edge onto here, straight off this edge onto here, and I intend to put some timber running out. So in effect this will be mechanically held by 2 grips, and under the top one I can fit another 3. So I'm back to routing out the lighting holes of 3 at a time, which is far better doing 1 at a time. So that's the back hand grip, and this will be the front hand grip. I've got these marked out. These eventually will have 3 holes, one there, a round one there for a support tube. These are aileron ribs, and the third one there. These are cut out, ready for going through on the what do you call it? Router. The name escapes me. So they've all been hand cut. These are to do. So I've marked those ones out. There's a lighting hole here. And because of the issues I've had with this end, I've decided that what I'll do is I'll drill a hole and I'll route out that entire section before I cut this one out, just make sure it's got a bit more support. And when I make a jig for it, I'll have a jig hopefully that'll support all this and stop it from chattering. So that'll probably be one of the next things to work on. These are all the centre ribs. It's a big stack, in case you hadn't picked up on that. In total, there's about 250 of these holes I've had to cut out by hand. Add on about another 80 here, and there's well over 300 holes cut out. just absolutely nuts. Created a couple of wee jigs. So this goes onto the back of this one, and that's a nice snug fit, and that'll fit 4 of these on top of each other, so it'll be 3 to be cut and 1 template. And this other one fits on the top, on the front rather. 2 to the sides to make sure they're snug, and these 2 to help press them all down and keep them all on one solid block. Yet to see how it's going to work. Haven't tried it yet, but the theory's good. Give it a crack. If not, it's down to manually doing one at a time, but I'm hoping this will mean I don't have to worry about trying to use double-sided sellotape, which works, but I don't like the residue and I don't want the cleaning up required. I'll do the same for these ones. I'll make up a template and the same with these ones as well. Been working on nose webs. So this stack you can see here are all the nose webs for this particular shape. So they're all done, they're all sanded, and they're looking pretty darn good. So I'm happy with those. The next one, which has got a smaller hole in the front, these ones, they're all done, routed out, just got to sand them. I'll stack those up as well. They'll all be done. Currently I'm working on these guys. Now this is with the 2 steps back. 1 step back comes into it. Fortunately I've come across this before, but I hate it when I discover it again. See those 2 gouge marks? That is the result of using a router bit that has suddenly decided to become blunt and grab. And it's completely stuffed those 3 pieces that are under there, which is a pain in the backside. 3 more for the waste pile, and these are fairly expensive things to create, unfortunately, not to mention time consuming. So that's a pain in the backside. So I've just been to the shops and picked up 2 fresh ones and a skinnier one which will come in handy for the tail webs. Just routing out the tail webs. It looks a bit messy, but it's I thought it might be interesting. Approach I've taken is I've got a block at this end, securing the back end of it. There's three layers here. The top one's a template, bottom 2 are the ones I'm cutting. I've got a drill hole through here, and I'm using that to make sure the bottom 2 don't move, and a piece of string which I can hold. This is very rangy, but it seems to be working. Here I've got a block which is cut so it pinches the tails. So it slides on there, it holds the tail firm, and to stop these 2 sides from chattering, 2 extra blocks just along the sides there, which I'm holding with the same hand I'm using to hold that, and that seems to be working. It seems to be working a treat. So I'm no longer getting the chattering effect which I got on an earlier one. It's not ruined, it's there's enough meat left in it I can recover it, but yeah, that seems to be working quite well. I'll crack on. I've got most of them done, these parts at least anyway. Just got that little stack to go yet. This is a bit weird. I'm using my tripod as a selfie stick. Never used a selfie stick in my life, and it's a bit unusual. I've just replaced the drill bit in my router table. The last one started showing signs of going blunt, which is part of me learning as to when it's going blunt. And rather than pressing on and assuming I can make it work through better personal practice, sod it, new router bit. The problem we've now got is the department store where we get the router bits from is now completely run out. They're not hugely expensive, about $20 New Zealand each, but once you buy their stock of 3 or 4 of them, yeah, you start having to move further afield. But in the meantime, while I've still got router bits to work, what I'm about to do is work on this piece. And this one is, let's put you down properly. Cool. This is a tail web, like this one. And about to router out the centre section. I've already done that part. that just needs, like this one, just needs that part cut out, which I'll do a little bit later. Morning guys, after about 2 or 3 weeks of very steady work, I think I've got most of the parts I need for the rib webs made. What I need to do today's project is I'm going to stack them all up, and then I've got to go through and quality check them, and I expect to get a few discards out of that. Once I've done that, then I know what remaining parts I need to make, but I think I've got the bulk of it, and I'll walk you through this quality check as I go, and show you what sort of stuff I'm looking out for, and where the flaws are, and possibly what's caused them. There'll be a few cases of where the router bits jumped from going blunt, and there may be a few cases where the template's moved a little bit, causing parts to be too thin. But we'll see how we go. I already know I need to make a few more pieces, but this is about figuring out the scale of that next step. How many more pieces do I need to make, and of what type? So, crack on. Right, I'll talk you through what I've got here. I'll start with the good bits, the parts I'm about to quality check. And I'll grab the Camel as well. I'll show you where on the Camel these parts go. Pop them on there. Cool, excellent. Cool. Not a very good shot of the Camel. Maybe over here. Cool. Okay, so these are trading edges. So these go on the rear part of the rib, which are along here, about there. About there is where the spar is, and you can see the aileron on this model. The spar goes across about there, so the trailing edges go through there. So these are the trailing edges for the ribs. These are the trailing edges for the ailerons, and there's a pipe that goes through here. It's about 3/4 of an inch round, or maybe an inch. Goes through the centre of that, acts as support and strengthens it. And aileron is the part of the wing that moves up and down. For anybody who isn't already aware, that helps you to turn. These parts are leading edges, both exactly the same, and this is a variation on the leading edge. And the leading edge is across the front here. You can see these little dimples here. They're special pieces made out of aluminium, but that basically denotes where that leading edge goes. And there's a spar that runs all the way along the length of the aeroplane, which these attached to. These special ones, and there's another hole that goes through here, which allows for control cables to go through. They go in the center section, which is between this joint here and this joint, so that section there. These are the center webs. It's about 70 here at the moment, need about 80. These parts go in the center of the wing between the two spars. So spar there, and these go in the center. They do the bulk of the job of carrying the load. Slight pause there as the wife goes out to do her thing. So moving back into this. So those are the center web ribs. These parts here, this set and those two nose pieces over there, they're all made out of 5mm ply, as opposed to all the rest of these are made out of 4mm ply. And these roughly correspond to the imperial measurements required. In fact, a little bit oversized, fraction oversized. Where these are used are for these ones, wing roots and aileron roots. Also wing roots and aileron roots, wing roots and aileron roots, and same with these. So basically where it needs more stiffening and more support, we use 5mm ply instead of the 4mm ply. So everything from here across at the moment are all parts for wings. Now I'm expecting a few of these to fail the quality checks, which is the purpose of the very large bucket. The first check I'm going to do is going to be for ply delamination, which is the case here. And the check for that will be basically to run my finger over the edge, and I'm listening for any twangs or any movements that might be in the ply. For example, that. Where I've seen this is on the edge of 2 ply sheets. I caught the first one, the second one ended up creating a few parts out of it. So I caught this on a centre web, which has been rejected, and I suspect this is the very end piece, which was used on the same sheet of ply. But I'm not sure, and what I first want to do is check to make sure I haven't got any other delaminating parts. As you can see, it stands out fairly well, and it's easy to, if you're flicking it, it's easy to pick up. So that's the first thing. Not particularly exciting, but hey ho, it is what it is. So this piece, I took a close look because I spotted that, which is a router gouge. Checking the old calipers, what I'm looking for is 6.35mm. Lighting for me is terrible on the small screen, I'm hoping you can see that, but that's just under 6mm, which is clearly well out of spec, so this one's rubbish. I'm not actually checking for that at the moment, but it was obvious. Get rid of it. Hey guys, just a quick update. I've not posted for a couple of weeks while I've been focusing on these web ribs. Looking pretty good. I need to make another 15 or so, but what I've got at the moment is these stacks. Wish I could stand back a little bit further, but I can't, unfortunately. So centre webs, tail webs, nose webs, 2 different types of tail webs, 2 different types of nose webs, pretty much ready to go. That up there is noses and 5mm ply. Oops, someone's nearly falling off for some reason. Plus 5mm ply at the centre webs, tail webs, and version number 2 of the tail webs. So I'm pretty much ready to go for making more ribs. What I'm short is about 10 of these things, due to flaws and while making them, and about 3 to 5 of these. I'm going to knock those up first while I'm in the groove as far as making these are concerned. I already know I'm probably going to make mistakes while assembling these things, so I'm probably going to make spare ones on the fly as we go. But I'd rather get the bulk of them done while I know I'm in the rhythm, because going back in a month's time and making a couple of extra ones will probably involve more learning process and more broken timber. So that's pretty much where I am with those at the moment. I've already pulled down some ply. This front piece 4x4 is 5mm, so I've got a whole sheet of that. I need at least 2 centre webs out of that, and I've got behind it I've got 2 sheets of 4mm ply, of which I'll probably need to use 1 to catch up on the pieces I still need. That's it for the moment. I'll now try and put together a video for the last couple of weeks, and yeah, see how we go. Just the last little bit of news, I've picked up a 517 compass. It's a early aircraft compass, which are rather rare and hard to find these days, and bloody expensive when you do. But I managed to pick one up at a reasonable price. It's going to be a while before it gets here. It's coming from the UK, but yeah, very excited. Very, very excited. I may have to start developing a dashboard soon. Yeah, very cool. So that's it for this week. I'll catch you next week. Cheers.